What up?
There it is.
What's going on?
The man, the myth, the legend. What up, brother?
How you doing?
Good, man. Good to be doing this, man. Because for me, it's about the recording this, man. Like, I appreciate you. How's Germany treating you?
It's cool. It's cool. Germany's Germany,
Yeah,
and I can't complain. I can't complain. I miss America, but you know,
Germany's cool though. I studied there for a year.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that was my major in college, Germanic studies.
Oh man, well,
I didn't tell you, huh?
huh?
I didn't tell you, did I?
Nah, nah. Do
Uh,
you speak German?
yeah, a little bit. Ambition. Ich bin nicht
You,
fließend, aber ich kann die deutsche Sprache sprechen.
you speak it better than I do.
Yeah, yeah,
I've
but
been here
but
5
you're
years,
there.
huh?
You're there though, so
Yeah,
you can
I,
surpass it.
it's cool because I don't speak it, so I can't really understand anybody. So I
Yeah,
get to be in my head all the time.
yeah. It's like they say, Übung macht den Meister. Practice makes perfect.
Yeah.
But I was there studying it, so I was always. And the cool thing, as soon as I put this on, it says recording. I'm trying new things. Technology is not my thing, so I tried it for the first time. I usually
Uh-huh.
just play it and then press record when we get started. But I tried something new. Just it started recording as soon as I picked up, and then I'll send it to you, man. But I'm just excited for posterity, bro. Like I'm just because you collaborated with a lot of legends, and we collaborate here, man. You're a humble and cool dude, man. Like because it's friendship, man. Like things for me, poetry wise, are going amazing. But it could stop
Mhm.
tomorrow. Let's keep it real. Like I could never get published again, but you still be cool with me regardless.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what I
Yeah.
like, man. Because like I'm going up, but it could stop, and it don't matter, right? Because we're artists, we do it for the love. Like if I never
Yeah.
got published, I'll still be writing the same way I am now. You know,
Yeah.
we got that passion.
Yeah. That's
Just
true.
been we've just been blessed, with
Yeah.
good opportunities and stuff. But at the same time, if that stopped, it don't matter. And that's why you gotta kick it with the people you with, man. When you wanted to bring this up, and like I said, like me with like it's just excited, man. Excited. I got some poems. I got like some new stuff, and just feeling good, man. Just feeling good.
So that's what's up. That's what's up. Yeah, man.
We'll probably start in a couple minutes and just read, man, and as soon as this ends, I'll send it to you.
Cool.
Yeah, and I'm gonna like spotlight both of us. Spotlight. Let me spotlight for everyone. Spotlight you. Add spotlight. So it's us two. There we go.
There it is.
But welcome to Tony. I saw we got one. But yeah, man. So it's exciting.
Yeah.
But you've been writing some stuff or like always, right? Just
Yeah. I've been doing I've been doing a little music, but mostly I've been trying to get more into writing, just
yeah.
writing stuff.
Because you like Leonardo da Vinci, man. I saw you doing with some jewelry and then
Oh yeah,
horticulture. So
yeah,
you do a little bit of everything, man. You're Renaissance, man.
yeah,
But
man.
it's cool, man. Like if like I like the thing that yeah. But yeah, man. Like I'm excited, man. Like so we should shout out to Tony for showing up. There's like this Christopher Citro. We got a book coming out. Him and Dustin Pearson and myself.
Oh,
Are
that's what's up.
Yeah, so it's excited, man. So shout out to Christopher and Tony, but it's up to you, man. You want to wait a couple minutes or you want me to just read my bio and get started? It is one.
Yeah, we can just go ahead and get started.
Yeah, I'm down.
Yeah,
All right. You want me to start just reading the poems?
yeah.
All right.
And I read your bio.
Yeah, you can read the bio.
All right, here we go. Steve Castro is a Costa Rican surrealist. Conyo Igayo was a finalist for the National Poetry Series Competition 2024. Conyo Igayo is currently a finalist. Winner announced May 2025 for the Poetic Justice Institute Editors Prize for a Biopic Writer 2024-25. Poems recently published forthcoming in Cream City Review micro series, the Cincinnati Review, Notre Dame Review, The Boiler, 32 Poems, Imagine Your Impossible Voice, Bayou Diode, I don't know how to say that,
Diode, yeah.
Diode, Heavy Feather Review, the Inflectionist Review, Laurel Review, the Spectacle Waterstone Review, and the Spectacle Waterstone Review.
Yeah, man. It's
Yeah.
Waterstone Review. I'm blessed. A number of those are with Dustin Pearson and Christopher Citro. So shout out to them. Christopher was my first ever poetry teacher. He became a dear friend.
Mm-hmm.
And just how it is, man. It's just honored and blessed to read with you, man. DonCarlos, man. I go to Germany. I'll be speaking German. You'll see. You can visit, man. I'm gonna be in Japan later on, but the
That's
first
what's
one
up.
I'm gonna and like I'm gonna put my timer wrong because I'm gonna put 20 minutes. Um, but stopwatch, yeah. All right. So the first poem uh is forthcoming from the Waterstone Review. Shout out to Jose Hernandez Diaz, the Waterstone's Review's guest poetry editor, who selected a couple of my poems, including Postcard from the Central American Town I grew up in before I learned how to speak English. I'm first time reading it, and like it's cool because Jose is like one of the dopest not prose poets or realists alive. So like it's honor. I'm honored. As a friend, um, you know, Postcard from the Central American Town I grew up in before I learned how to speak English. Where old man cut grass with machetes. You lived with your mom's parents while she made bank in the United States, where frequented restaurants were located inside people's houses and your pop's favorite bar, El Coco, where shoes hung from power lines. Julio, Luis, and Pancho's crib had an aluminum roof and dirt floors. You had to boil water on the stove to take a hot bath. Air conditioners inside homes did not exist. You'd see girls washing clothes in the river. Topple walls had broken Coke bottle glass embedded in cement. You'd see discarded milk cartons people used to sniff glue scattered in Los Caños. You'd kick flattened toads out of the way when walking in the middle of dirt roads. It was normal for people to take their change back from La Parroquia Santana's collection plate. You'd see felonies taking place in broad daylight, yet adults forgot to call police. So that's that one. Sometimes I have quite long titles. This one I got, Rocky and Bullwinkle.
Mm-hmm.
Rocky and Bullwinkle would have had like a title, and then they had or
Yeah.
had a different title. I got that from them. So I hope this one gets published during my last reading with Laura Villarreal. I wished a couple poems got published, and they ended up getting published. So like I'm gonna wish it again. I like I like the poem. So this one's called Quite Beautiful. I've never read both of these poems too, so I'm doing this for the first time, man. Man, I'm that's why I gave myself 20 minutes too, because man, you treated me
Hey,
so
you
nice
take
in
all the time
Atlanta.
you want.
I know you treated me so nice in Atlanta. We got the win. We had a good
I
time.
mean,
You took
yeah,
it to
yeah.
you're a great host, bro. Like, so I
Hey,
know if I
man.
go to Germany, you're gonna treat me. And like, I gotta go. Like, like I was. But I just had a good time, and that's what it is, man. Like I said, man, because like all these poetry stuff, like with Christopher is a good friend of mine.
Mm,
But all this could end, right? And it don't matter. Like, it could be tomorrow, be like never. But friendships and people you met with is real. I just been blessed to know a number of ridiculous brilliant individuals like y'all. You know what I'm saying? So I'm blessed. But this was like Rocky and Bullwinkle. This was called Quite Beautiful, like a tree without leaves, where every branch is frozen with ice, or quite beautiful, unlike a petrified tree frozen with fear. A man dressed as a crow walks into a bar and gets beat to death with a crowbar for not paying his bar tab. The person who beat him to death wasn't even human. Chimpanzees are cool and all, but chimps shouldn't be allowed to bartend or deal cards at casinos. What was that dude thinking? Even the most innocent child knows chimpanzees and crows are mortal enemies, like Pepsi and Coke. Speaking of snow, your nose is quite beautiful. All right.
Nasty. My nasty.
DonCarlos, man. Uh, I wonder if I should do another poem I never read. Three
Yeah,
poems
man.
I read in a
Yeah,
row,
hit us
man.
off with another. Because everything I'm doing, I ain't never read either.
Oh man,
So
it's good. I'm
we're
gonna,
just
I'm
doing
gonna
all
do.
new tonight.
I'm gonna do Lobo Malo. This poem is called Lobo Malo. Lobo Malo. That trickster of a dog was so astute that weeks before he ate the Thanksgiving turkey, he'd fast to look malnourished. The dog was a master of disguise and was indeed a wolf in sheep's clothing. The savage wolf's feigned, penitent eyes after eating that delectable turkey deceived everyone at the orphanage. The Christmas ham also didn't stand a prayer. Those nuns had no chance against such a crafty creature. Even the Vatican was fooled into canonizing that despicable wolf while it still lived.
Hmm.
This was for you, bro. Because like something about we talked about the difference between poetry and rap, and in a sense, I remember even Lil Wayne was like, "Don't call me a poet." He went off in on an interview. I was about to beat him up for calling him a poet, but he's like, "I'm not a poet." Like I'm like, "Hey," like, so you know what I'm saying? But like,
Yeah.
poetry has some of the best. I probably would get fired if I had taught at a college because like some of these rappers I would teach. It'd be kind of violent and stuff. Like you'd be like, Steve, what were you doing? Hey, bro, just if you look at the art, focus on the art and the simile and the wordplay. That's not on me.
Yeah.
That's on y'all. But I think
Yeah.
it's for you because like the rap got some of the best metaphors and similes. So
Yeah.
I got this one. I'm gonna read it. I wrote it. I'm gonna read it because of you. Look at the title: A super shady situation, like Eminem wearing a cape. Super shady
I think I got you.
situation, like Eminem wearing a cape, right? I got the similes, bro. I got the uh there was a perfectly ripe peach on the marble counter. A man aimed a musket at the peach and fired. I was so hungry, I cried. Why are you crying for a peach, stranger? She asked. No one ever desires or even thinks to light a match when in the deepest waters, she continued. I replied, think of me as a helmsman addicted to tobacco who's been underwater on a submarine expedition for 2 months straight without surfacing. Silence. I'm dying of hunger, I pleaded. In response, she pulled a perfectly ripe peach from her coat pocket. She extended her hand to give it to me. I was about to reach out and grab it when I heard the following commands: ready, aim, fire. Ella, the Townsend families. Ella, another artist. The Townsend family is my family. Daniel's my best friend, my brother for life. Ella's his genius oldest daughter. An amazing individual. Um, loved your animation, by the way. Yeah, so like the Townsend
Hello.
family. Hello,
Hello.
the Townsend family is like my family.
That's what's up.
So let me see what we got, man.
So you work? Are you working on a new collection? Am I not supposed to ask you questions during your
No, yeah,
21?
you can ask me quick, bro.
No.
We
All
you
right.
can do
Cool.
whatever you want. This is, if people, this is our stuff, man. So I'm just hyped, man. Yeah, yeah. I'm just trying to get connect with God you published, because it's
Mhm.
like like the University of Cincinnati asked me to read it. The very
Hmm.
first draft that he selected, National Poetry Series finalist. That like my friend Dammy won it this year. The same year we were both finalists. My friend Dammy won it. Diema
So,
Darabibe. So like I'm gonna read with him next. So like I'm reading with
nah.
him and you, bro. How blessed am I that I'm with Christopher Citro? I'm like, it's like like I can't believe I'm reading with all these like dope people, man. Like I'm just blessed to have good friends, you know.
That's what's up.
But yeah, I'm trying to get connected with Gallo published, man, and if I find out in May if it gets published.
Mhm.
So if it happens, it happens. Like I said, man, I wasn't even like, like I'm just grateful, I'm blessed and if it happens, it happens. I wanted to, and if it don't, I'm cool.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah,
No,
I'm
I'm
trying to
sure that
get
happened.
that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get it published.
Yeah, no, that happened.
Christopher Citra and Dustin and I got a book coming out this summer, so I'm gonna at least I got that though. So and that's
Yeah.
not to man, you shouldn't boast, but it's that's a fire.
No, shit, hey, if
That's
you
a fire
don't, who will?
collection. That's a fire collection.
Hey, man, that's what's up.
The box we put the world in to keep a corner from shattering. That's the title. The
Yeah,
box
say
we
it
put
again.
the box we put the world in
Mm-hmm.
to keep a corner from shattering.
Yeah.
Yeah, so speaking of shattering and missing things, and this poem's called Like a Headless Zombie. Like a headless zombie. I dreamt I cut someone's hand off at the wrist during hand-to-hand combat. Kentaro Miura must be on my mind. Sometimes we want to be influenced. Sometimes we want to be influenced by morpho butterflies and tres leches, but somehow guillotines enter the picture. So what else we got here? Oh, this one's called. I should tell you the titles because this one's called Caras Muertas por Todos Lados. I realized that in readings I just say them in Spanish and I just move on. And
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
yeah, so after I read this poem, I'm
Translate.
gonna translate. I'm gonna start translating. I'm like, wait, do people even know like somebody stuff? Like, so I'm gonna read this. Well, Ella would, but like Caras, Ella's both her parents are fluent in Spanish. Danny and Alicia both Ella's parents are fluent in Spanish, so that's pretty cool. But Caras Muertas por Todos Lados. I see faces on my pancakes. Caligula. I see faces on my pancakes. Caligula, eating a snake raw like war backwards. Nero, with dried blood on both eyelids. Herodotus, with an uwap between his lips. I once saw Alexander the Great's smiling face as he was packing my groceries. You died so young, I told him. Oh yeah, caras muertas por todos lados. That's dead faces everywhere. Because
Ah,
Herodotus, the
see.
historian, Caligula, Nero,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, the evil, two evil emperors, and then you got Alexander the Great, the greatest general. So like people I still see him. Like he just saw faces everywhere. People packing his groceries. I was like, that's Alexander the Great. You know,
Yeah.
people in pancakes and it is. I used to work at a hotel, man. Like in many ways, I feel blessed because he paid the bills
Mm-hmm.
barely. Actually, I had to borrow money, but like you know what I'm saying. But I still, it was a job. You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
Yeah.
Pay the bills and like paid a couple bills and like borrow money, but like you know what I'm saying. Like but it was still a job. It enabled me to write a lot of poetry. It was the graveyard shift at a hotel, and it's Evansville,
Mm-hmm.
Indiana. Like it's and I'm thinking it was kind of like crazy weird experience because it was a bit dangerous. I'm like, I can't even imagine someone like in certain parts of like Chicago or St. Louis, which was like the murder capital, like for like decades, like or like New
Yeah.
Orleans, which before St. Louis, it was New Orleans. It was like then you got like the trip, like so. But I'm thinking, I'm like, I saw some crazy situations, right? Like in like a hotel working, and I'm like, I can't even imagine what someone in like St. Louis or like Milwaukee would see or something. So this is
Yeah.
a situation. This is my forte as a poet. Things I do well at, and things I do well at. I feel are ekphrastic poetry. For those of y'all that don't know, ekphrastic poetry is when you write poetry based on a work of art, a photography, a sculpture, a photograph, a painting. you know, things like that. Even though you could say the sun's a work of art, but that's a different conversation. But so so ekphrastic poetry, speculative poetry, magical realism, fantasy. I have a fantasy like like apocalyptic, like stuff like that, like dystopian, surrealist. I do, that's my forte as well. And the third one, like documentary poetry. And the first
Yeah.
one is documentary, and this was a documentary poem called Hotel California, based on my time, man. Like so this was called Hotel California. When a 10-foot tall demon walks through your hotel wall in San Francisco, you ain't gonna be atheist anymore. Nick Vujicic. Quote from him, and then this is the poem. It's a prose poem. I worked the graveyard shift I worked the graveyard shift at the front desk in a southern Indiana hotel where drugs and prostitution were rampant. I will say that the worst thing about hotels are the demons, followed closely by the humans. I once saw a young woman with a distorted face sitting on a couch at our hotel lobby. She was waiting to be interviewed by the police. We started a conversation. She told me that she was shot in the face in Milwaukee. I was so angry with the shooter when she told me that. I was even more angry with the judge when she told me her assailant only got 5 years. She was young, but had lived a very rough life. Like the 16-year-old without a shirt the police led away in handcuffs after finding a baggie with crystal meth residue in his sweatpants pocket. Yeah, sometimes these hotels, you see
Yeah.
crazy stuff. That's the only poem I wrote on that. But I was there 3 years, and I'm like, I can't be here no more. After 3 years, I'm like, I've been here too long, man, too long. But speaking of a dystopian and apocalyptic poetry, this is a prose poem. Time flies, man. 15 already, but it's good, man. Like I'm just excited, and the thing is like for those of you that don't know, Don Carlos is in Germany.
Yeah.
So that's he's in Europe with your wife, right? Just living
Yeah.
life, right?
Yeah, man. Just living the European dream,
That's
trying
right.
to see every country,
Yeah,
most
like
of them.
yeah, I mean, we were supposed to, like I told you, I might hit Athens. Remember last, but I ended up switching to going to Denver, and I switched it to 3 U.S. trips. So Denver, I think it was Denver, LA, and Chicago. I ended up taking trips to those three cities
Yeah.
in this year, Japan. But like, if you're still out there, we're
I'll
probably
be
trying to get
here.
there next year.
I ain't going nowhere. Next year be good. We waiting on our house to get finished being built.
Okay.
So and you'll be able to just hang out.
Oh, perfect,
You know what I
perfect.
mean?
Appreciate you, bro.
Well,
But speaking of, I like your Impossible Voice published one of my apocalyptic poems called "Damn," and it's fire. It's a fire poem. But like, actually, that was when I was reading with Laura Villarreal. I said that. I wished. I'm like, man, I hope that poem gets published somewhere. And your Impossible Voice picked it up. They have a couple of surrealist poets that I admire, and they have some really good writing. So I had to submit to them. So. Feel free to send some work out to Your Impossible Voice. They fire. This one's called Matryoshka Dolls. When you open a fortune cookie only to find directions to your local apocalypse help center inside, it means all hope is not yet lost. I did not even realize an apocalypse was upon us. I tend to ignore obvious signs. When a child holding a machete dressed as a stray cat knocked on my front door the other day, I did not know it was Halloween. I gifted him 3 cans of tuna and a can opener. I once missed the stop sign and hit a deer. The dying deer could talk and looked humanish. As I drove away, I thought about all the strange kinds of magical creatures that inhabit our unforgiving planet. Some of these speakers in my poems are shady. Like I don't know if I'd be kicking it with a lot of some of these speakers, man.
yeah, where's your mind be at when you be writing these like joints like that?
I don't know, but all I know is like a lot of those speakers we were like locked out. Like if they knocked on my door, they ain't getting no help.
That's it's cool though. It's cool. It's
But
like it's your own style, you know?
yeah, I
That's
did
dope.
I did a reading the other day. Let me just pull it up, see if it's here. Where's the just 1 second, see if I can find the I did a reading in this anthology, and like one of the editors like you can always I don't know if it's true, but she was like, shout out to Kim, she was like, you can always tell when it's a Steve Castro poem. It's like as soon as you read it, you can he's like you can even tell you don't even have to know who wrote it. You're like, it's just that's a Steve Castro. But like it, and it's funny because like I remember when I was in at IU, I took a poetry workshop,
Uh,
and our very last class, I'm gonna do this if I ever teach it. And then I read one more poem because we're like 19 minutes. I know it don't matter because we got an hour, but I figured like 20 just to keep it. So I'll read one more. But I remember like we just had everybody turn a poem in, but nobody could say who wrote it.
mm,
So I read this poem that was fire. It was a poem about a police pulling someone over. It was just real surreal and crazy. I'm like, this poem's my favorite one in the class. So everybody, after you have to guess who wrote it. Everybody thought I wrote it, and I'm like,
yeah.
why would I talk about this poem? Like, I'm like, oh, that's what they think of me. They be boasting on. Then no, no, but everybody thought I wrote it, and after they found out I didn't write it, they told the
Mhm.
person. You like you took that from Steve, didn't you? He admitted he's like, yeah, I got the style from, and I didn't even know I had a style. Like I just thought it was a dope poem, and then he admitted he's like, yeah, I got that from Steve. I'm like, what? But like it wasn't like play, it was just uniquely his, and I would have never guessed. But for some reason, I was the only one clueless. Everyone else in the class is like, that's a Steve Castro poem, and he's like, yeah, he was influenced by me, and I didn't even know. Like,
Hey man, that's what you want right
yeah,
there.
but I read it, I couldn't even tell. Like. I thought it was a dope poem, but like, and he's like, yeah, he sheepish is like, yeah, I admit it was based on like it's a but I had no clue that it was like inspired by me, like, but he only because the class called him out on it, and I'm like, what are they talking about? And then he's like, yeah, and I'm like, afterwards, I was like, okay, I could see it, I could see it, but it was uniquely his,
Yeah.
but it was shout out to Morris Stanton. It was Professor Stanton. It was in her class, and where everybody said that she did that. She had everybody read a poem. Nobody knew who wrote it. I'm gonna do that someday. I'm gonna read one more, man. You left hand or right hand, and then I'll let you choose which one I end with.
Right hand.
Right hand. All right. Look the one you chose, the long one, the long prose. And with this is the short one, so you got you chose the long one. Another prose poem. A breaditarian amongst us. Let me get your real quick. Let me get your real quick. Let me get your third person bio ready. I got the one that in for the kill. I was listening to that before because I've been listening to you, man. Like I'm a poet like Edgar Allan. Like it's just you be dropping those references, bro. Like I just listened to that like right before like this like a few minutes ago. Like I was cooking tortillas and eggs. Listen,
That was
listen.
like my first. That was the first actual video I shot
Oh,
to
for
that
real?
song. Yeah, it
That's a
went down to Miami.
that's a fire video, man.
Yeah, yeah. That was
I'm
hot.
fire too. Like it's just that's one of like there's a number, man, but it's just that one just I don't know because it's dark too.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I was
Lieutenant
hungry.
Dahmer.
I was in a dark place. I was hungry then.
But it's good, like but no, bro. Like so, it's cool, man. Like it's just good that we, like me, man. We cool and stuff, and we can just be honest. Like I'm a fan of your work.
Yeah.
Uh, and it's cool that like
Amen.
you could be out not I've never been one trying to act like like trying to be too cool with somebody, but I always keep it real. I'm like extreme. I'm like I'll praise it, but I can't be fake. But also like if I see somebody doing something like, hey bro, I gotta get a say. And sometimes people don't like being, you know what I'm saying? But that's
Yeah.
me, you know what I'm saying? Like I
You
can't
speak your mind. Yeah,
yeah, I gotta speak my mind, man.
yeah, ain't nothing wrong with that.
So I'm gonna end with this. I went a little bit over, but like it's all good. A breaditarian amongst us. A breaditarian amongst us. Do you see a man skillful in his work? He will stand before kings. He will not stand before obscure men. Proverbs 22:9. The monster under my roof loved eating freshly baked plain baguettes. That's all he'd eat, without butter or natilla or pate or cream cheese, no coffee to wash it down with. As monsters go, he was a top tier he was a top tier terror. He once took me to a secretive nocturnal conference inside a Quebec castle where an ancient vampire with a gold chain so incredibly massive, if someone tried to put it around my neck, it would have immediately broken it, materialized right in front of us, and vowed politely before gifting us each a medallion before disappearing into the shadows. My medallion was made of copper with an undecipherable rune on each side. The monster under my roof's medallion was made of pure gold and had a Latin inscription on one side and an infinity symbol on the other. The monster under my roof smiled at a giant sequoia-looking werewolf. As we approached the lichen monstrosity, the monster under my roof said, "Krasimov, my old and true friend, this frail human you see before us is this world's greatest baker." Appreciate you, bro.
Hey man, you the man. I'm trying to get like you, man. Trying to get like you. You
Bro,
know,
like coming from a legend for real.
trying to get it. I'm trying to get that.
I like the way you are though, man. I've had this conversation with Christopher, man. Like I like, I've just been blessed. God has blessed me with meeting a number of like really brilliant artists who have done amazing things, and for the people I attract, they've just been really kind and humble, man, regardless of what they do. And and I'm just grateful for that because like I don't know if I'm attracting it or something because like, and maybe I just stay away from people who aren't like that. If I see somebody just acting crazy, I'm like, oh, let me get away. But no, man, just the time in Atlanta, you're showing me around. Even though when I went to the gas station at midnight because
Yeah, yeah,
it took
you
the
crazy.
lighter. It took my lighter over. I had to go to the gas station, grab a new lighter.
Yeah.
I walked back to the Middle East by myself. I'm from Latin America. I've been in Egypt and Dahab. I was there a couple of weeks before three bombs blew up. I've seen some things, and it was one of the few times, if not the time, I was walking down at midnight. I was like, I could die here. But
Yeah,
I had to go to the
yeah,
gas station. So I was like, man,
yeah,
Atlanta's real, man. It
yeah.
actually,
You right in the hood.
and the fact that I thought that walking by myself and still didn't go back, just because, like, I need that.
Yeah.
I need that.
When you need your lighter, you need your lighter.
All right, bro. So, let me, let me read your bio. Bro, this is not even covering. Like, I could read 2 pages, but like. Don Carlos Price is a poet and rapper by the moniker STS, Something to Say. Originally from Atlanta, Georgia, he came up on Philly slam poetry scene and eventually began rapping at the urging of Philly legend Jazzy Jeff. He has written for and collaborated with artists like Sierra, The Roots, RJD2, many more. Like I'll add Yellow Wolf. I could keep going. Like that sounds also fire.
Yeah, that was a man.
I've been listening. I listened to that song on repeat quite a few times,
Yeah,
but
that's my
like,
guy.
currently living in
In
Berlin,
Germany.
Germany, Deutschland.
Yeah, yeah.
Don Carlos Price, STS.
Yeah. I appreciate it. I appreciate you doing asking me to do this, you know what I mean? Trying to get my poetry feet like, trying to get reading your bio is like, it's like wow. That's what I want a bio like that, you know.
I collaborated with Nas, Jill
Yeah,
Scott.
yeah. But you got published, man. You got
You are
published.
the roots. Like
You got published. I like that.
yeah,
I
we
just,
got different strengths.
yeah, yeah. But,
But you
yeah,
also got that strength too. Is this you're kind of like more of a renaissance. You got the words and the mic.
yeah, I be trying to do it, but like you said, yeah, I came up on the spoken word scene, which is like where most of my stuff kind of I like I'm used to more so performing, but like lately I've been into actual writing, which is after reading your book, you know what I'm saying I kind of use it as a guide, honestly,
All right,
because it's helps me like just seeing words on page and stuff. I just coming from hip hop, you're not used to exactly seeing that, but yeah. And so here we go. So I've been working on a couple of joints on this on my collection of poems. It's called The Rib Shack, based on my growing up in Atlanta and my family's rib shack and everything. But yeah, so this is just called now mine are longer now. Mine are longer because once again I come from that spoken word world. But this is called The Stick by Which a Man is Measured. It's a poem about a conversation with my father. Okay, so I'm in there squatting on the privy pot, pollinating the honey bucket, you know what I mean? Trying to park a brown bear in a godforsaken thunderbox, for Christ's sake. And all of a sudden, he go howling from the kitchen like I'm sitting on a full moon, talking about having ham sandwiches for lunch. And well, I had to finally fill my father with some wide awakening, muster up the mustard seed to tell this mountain I don't eat pork no more. I swear, like a pig praying to hog heaven, I heard the ham helping Helen hallelujah, and the knife fall flat on his face. The mayo hopped down off the countertop, yelling at the cheese block, save yourself, neighbor, save yourself. You can't help the whole of humanity. But you know how American machismo gets, all stuck in his ways, just stood there stiff as steel wire. The tomato tightened his tone towards the limp lettuce laying beneath him and breathed him, hey, y'all just shut the fuck up and play dead. But the bread, all the poor white bread, well, it broke down crying and crumbling beneath the blackness of my father's crushing footsteps. Thunderstruck like lightning, heard a storm approaching, a hurricane headed down the hallway. Hard, heavy hooved winds working up a flush wave that came crashing down the doorway, dismaying all rules of modern imposition and religious inquisition, not to mention plain old common redolence. Wasn't like I was chopping roses in the head. Hell, I'm collecting fuel for the Ezekiel bread, ranks to high heaven if I'm just being godly. However, he stood there, stank-eyed, pupils peering down on me like I gut punched a pregnant virgin in fear of his filibuster. And I told him, yo, can't you see I'm trying to pass a bill through Congress in here? He ain't care. He just proceeded with wondering why. Why the hell you don't eat pork no more? What is you, a Muslim? Muslim? Pork? My first thought was to articulate on his articulation, but in some situations, you shouldn't try to teach an old man new tricks. They might turn on you. Hell, I've been bit before. Besides, I couldn't ignore the giggle gaggling up my gullet, but I just spit the snigger in my left hand and tucked the tee-hee in my top hat to laugh at it when I get his age. I don't know if it was his catechisms or Southern living that felt offended, but somehow we were now both in a shitty situation. I didn't think my daddy hated Muslims or nothing. I just thought he really loved pork. No, sir, I'm not a Muslim. I completely assured him of that, although I had been doing some window shopping. However, picking a new god is like buying new shoes. You want to put your foot in it first, make sure there's some wiggle room. Then when you started bringing home the bacon, he demanded, letting the question dangle off his lower lip like bundles. And well, I could tell the cured meat was rhetorical. He knew I ain't have no bread, but I opened up an answer according to Moses, who told us how the Lord's children should live. It's saying in the Bible, don't eat any disgusting animals, don't even touch a dead pig, I told him. He laughed like a pigeon before cracking his beak and slicing open that old can of worms. My granddaddy lived to be 99 years old and ate pork every day of his life. I could recite how he applied that same salve on gin, and my mama told him once again, don't bring your mother's milk in my house no more. But I never met his granddaddy, and I'm told that was his ruler in life, the stick by which he measured a man. There you go. And
bro.
So,
bro, like
yeah.
You just be deep, man.
And man, I just be writing.
Yeah.
I'm I'm just trying to put them together. I don't know. I'm trying to put them together. But I was actually, because all this stuff is like Atlanta, a lot of Atlanta based writings too. And I'm glad you've been there. Because I was talking to my sister, like I actually being here in Germany and not being around Americans, like it's not like I have conversations with people every day, or it's rare I have strange people conversations with just other people. Most of my conversations are on the phone, and so just missing the sound of Americans' voice, like different from living anywhere, from California to Texas to Georgia to Philly, just the different slang and everything. And I was talking to my sister, and she and like when I got off the phone, I was like it had this weird feeling, and I was like, and it hit me, and it was like they all talk like peaches. And if you listen to like Outkast, early Outkast albums, then you're from Atlanta, you'll understand. But the whole Georgia peaches. But anyway, this is what I was inspired to write after a conversation with my sister. But they all talk like peaches, lips dripping cheeky nectar, fat like ham bone and tight like gnat booty, shouldered in a ripe regionalism team with twangy, tangy overtones, big red, juicy autumn flames with thin skin and large stone hearts, the taste of rich ladies in September sun, Georgia belles with white flesh like starlights, a yellow bone like Jefferson, raised on heirloom orchards and small community gardens. Some stay close to the heart, others grow to be cling free, and once they mature, will fall from the deciduous family tree. A hint for harvest, if heavy for their side, this is a sign that there's a whole lot of juiciness inside. And be wise to pick fresh in season, that delicate floral sweetness will impart. But if picked before lush, oh, she will be a biting, bitter, sour tart. Well, you know.
What was that place? That wing spot in Atlanta you took me to?
Where did I take you to J.I. Crickets?
Is that what it was? Like across the street from where I was staying at. We just walked
yeah,
up.
it was either J.R. Crickets or American Deli.
Yeah. And like I remember they sold cigarettes by the ones. I'm like, that's Latin America right there. They did
Oh
like
yeah, oh yeah,
they
yeah,
don't
yeah,
normally do that
yeah,
around here.
yeah. Lucy's themselves,
Yeah, they
Lucy's.
don't.
Oh
That's
yeah,
they did that in Costa Rica. They do that. I put that in one of my poems.
yeah,
But
it,
yeah, they don't. I was surprised because they don't do that around here.
yeah. They do it in Philly. Philly is where I first got hip to it. You go to the Chinese store or the with the poppy shop.
Oh, okay.
They always. It's gonna be a Newport too. It's gonna be a Newport. That's why I tell people, if you buy, because especially out here, because like they never heard like buying a Lucy. That's crazy.
Yeah.
But I was like, yeah, in America, yeah, you can buy a loose cigarette. I remember they used to start at. I used to buy them for what, 25 cents, 25 cents for a loose cigarette, and then they went up. They went up like 50 cents. When they went to 50 cents, they had to give you the long cigarettes, or the Cadillacs. That's what we used to call them, Cadillacs. And
Was it
then the
a Moore?
huh?
M-O, the Moores, you know, the Moores, Virginia Slims,
Oh
Moores.
yeah, oh yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
oh
yeah.
yeah, oh yeah,
That's old school, man.
oh yeah, yeah. I'm thinking probably. I remember when, and at one time when New York got hit with that cigarette tax, it went up to like people like $1 for a cigarette.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm you know, but yeah, they'll stop you smoking cigarettes out there. But yeah, so I'm gonna keep on my same, in my same vein of poems, and this is another one. Well, it's just more about the restaurant itself, like old red brick bones. I was raised in a rib shack. I know more about baby backs than a pediatrician. Can take a spare rib like God did and give it a new existence. I don't recall the hissing of gaslighting, although perceptions of reality can change. I was told hickory sticks and charcoal bricks create a stronger flame. The lessons weren't always transparent nor easy to explain. The silver linings opaque as unwound membranes. I was raised in a rib shack. I can recite all the family recipes, but the words don't taste like home. All that remains are the leftover tenants attached to a stack of old red brick bones. handed down a silver fork and a greasy spoon, an A-now apron, and an angel white dish rag, plus the good half of an old push broom. Loomed over by the shade of a sweet gum tree, she bore fruit and wrapped us tightly in a star-shaped leaf. Her great feet holding together the branches and stems. Nowadays, seems like everybody done grown out on their own little limb. I was raised in a rib shack along with Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, baptized in the fire when I was damn near 10 years old, shown how to hold my tongs and cut my teeth, how to gather my sides and hunt my meat, how to turn my cheeks and win the flip, how to pick my switch and take my licks, how to work the pits and shoot the five, and how to speak in codes amongst the tribe. I was raised in a rib shack. Somewhere at the age of reason, I learned to apply the dry rub and work in the seasons. Kitchen full of tornadoes, twisters, and typhoons. I seen acts of God go down in that one room. Pink Southern belles who told the hours and toiled the fodder. Blue stockings and white dresses, raising the sons and brazen daughters. I can put a name to flesh and blood with a relative smile. I know where I got my sauce at and where my sauce got its style. Uncles taught me how to grip a slab and to outfit that old bow tie drowning in the Bermuda grass. Had a revolver by the register and a 6-shooter under the tongue, a arm sitting on the floor by the door in case the men hear sounds of the djembe drums. I was raised in a rib shack, heaped on a sheet of peach butcher paper, once the richest Negro street apropos for a king. Smack dab on a sweet Auburn strip up the stream from I Have a Dream. It's where good trouble sat at as the bourgeois stood in queue. Oh, and Mr. Moneybags used to bring Jane Fonda as well. It's where I learned not to judge a man by his epithet, only his appetite to swallow his quails. I was raised in a rib shack. I'm relishing both sides. Mama's mopped on the marinade, father's made it caramelized. Fixed in the mind are the lines, black as char grilled on rib roast and thick as the marble fat on back of Lady of Saliagos. No matter how hot it got, we refrained to complain. But have you ever heard of Centennial Park? Well, have you ever heard of Eminent Domain? I was raised in a rib shack, scrutinizing the Crisco can on the burner as the grease bombs bursted in air. Gives proof to the plight that our flag was once there. 6 days a week at the finial it soared, held at half mass on Sundays to serve the Lord. I was raised in a rib shack. Now that I have family business of my own, I know to cherish the sweet and savory parts before the tender times fall off the bone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's talking about that simile I was talking about
Yeah.
earlier. I can't help but laugh. Baby back, more baby back, baby red than a penetration.
Pediatrician. Yeah, it's like you because that's what happens. Like bouncing back and forth between rap is like you'll have you'll pull stuff from raps that you might. It's just like something that I'd probably say in a rap, but I'm probably not gonna write a song like this to use it in a rap. So I figured throw it at the beginning of a poem and let it fly like that. But yeah, man, it's a and then like it goes vice versa. Like, sometimes I'm writing raps and I start to say something that's maybe more poetic than rap needs or that particular song needs, especially because if you're writing a up tempo party joint, then you gotta kind of I used to hate to say it, but now I understand it, but dumb it down a bit, because when people are when you write like that's why I really admire poets because you actually have to really write. You take away that beat, and in my line of work, a lot of times, you can get away with not saying nothing of much importance as long as that hook is right. But that's the catchy part. That's the catchy part. But yeah. Since it's Black History Month, I'm gonna go ahead and Well, I'm gonna give you one more before we get out of here.
No, no, you're
Uh,
good, bro. Like you're good. Just read,
um,
read what you want. We got plenty of
this, this is uh um this is one I put it on Instagram before, but since this is poetry, I'll go ahead and but this is was my joint. I've been working on these things. I don't know for how many months, I mean years now, but just little stories, little African American stories, man. I don't know, I kind of I like to nerd out like that and just kind of research different African American first that you wouldn't expect to hear about, and and just first things like, and so I was looking up the first poet, the first African American poet, and I take these stories, and because you can't find a whole lot of information on a person because they were slaves, so I try to reimagine where they were, if they were to reimagine their situation and let them speak how they would speak the way we speak amongst each other. Like, I don't believe in the yes and massa and all that. I think that's how they spoke when they had to speak. But I believe once they got around each other, you know, they spoke like we speaking right now. And
yeah.
so that's how I like to think that these people spoke. That's just my personal thing that I like to do. And so I just write these stories. I believe that the first African American poet was a feisty woman. And so, here you go. But most of the story is true. Some of it is. Uh, y'all ain't gonna believe this, but the first piece of black literature was a poem composed in 1746 by a slave named Lucy Terry Prince called Bars Fight. It was a ballad to some white folk who got their ass beat by some Indians. Therefore, it's no wonder she never blew up on the literary scene. She was performing at open mic slams around Deerfield, Massachusetts, and was finally published in 1855 by Josiah Gilbert Hollins in an anthology called History of Western Massachusetts. Lucy Terry Prince once spoke about her influence on black writers in an interview. I was at a poetry slam, she said. I should have won. I'm not going to say the judges was racist, but it was 1766. The only other colored person in the room was a little black girl. And she come up to me, and we shared the same stories. Both born in Africa and stole from our home. So we both know how it feels to live in the hull of a slave ship. It's surprisingly good for a writer. It gave me time to focus and find my voice, although I was only 8 months old at the time. I told her, look here, that ain't the poem I wanted to perform up there, but I'm a slave. I ain't got much choice. My master made me write it in memory of his fallen comrades who let the Indians get all up in their ass. I'm tired of reading that bullshit, but still I rise because I am phenomenal woman. My master just be ego tripping. I hope one day I can be free to read my other poems like The Revolution Won't Play on the Phono and We Wear the Mascara. I have a whole collection I call the Concrete Rose. I keep telling my master, next time your son goes over to London, let me roll with him. They get down with black writers over there. And honestly, I've been aching to try the combination of fish and chips. That little girl told me she came over when she was only 7, but got sold to some good white folk that let her write poetry all day. They even make the other slaves do her chores. I said to her, I bet them other niggas hate your little ass, don't they? She replied, nah, they all supportive. Like we used to say back in Africa, it takes a village. Well, those slaves are my village. And if at least one of us makes it out of slavery, it's good for my whole hood. I just want to be able to show the little homies they can be somebody. I said, hot damn, you wise for your age. Must have found your voice at the bottom of that slave ship like I did. She answered again in the same congenial tone. Nah, as you can see, my slave masters are pretty progressive. Not progressive enough to not have slaves, but they do let us read and write and make sure we recycle our old cotton rags. We call them hand-me-downs. But anyway, I just wanted to say I really enjoyed your poem up there tonight, and I think you should have won that slam. I'm not going to say the judges are racist, but it is 1766, so let's be cool, sister. I told her, thank you for the kind words, and that I'm not going to stand here and say that I can change the literary world in America, but I hope I sparked the brain that changes the literary world in America. And you know what? I hope that brain is yours. I saw the wide smile dance across that little girl's lips, but before she could speak, our slave master summoned us. I told her, I'm sorry, we can't chat longer. It seems our masters are ready to go. It was nice to meet you, young lady. What do you say your name is? The little girl looked up at me and say, Phyllis Wheatley. There you go.
Fire, man. That's fire.
There you go.
And
But yeah,
no,
that
man.
was
Honor, brother. First off.
yeah, man, no doubt, man. I appreciate you letting me get down with you.
No, man, it's like I said, I only do 2 readings a year, and like
Mm-hmm.
you know, like in a sense, it's you know, you want to do more, but I think it's good this way because then you really have to think about who you're reading with.
Yeah,
I did like 10, 12. It could be anybody, you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
But if you only do 2 a year, you can't just be, even though you want, you gotta really think about it. And Don
yeah.
Carlos, Steve Castro sound good to me. It's a
Yeah,
blessing.
man, it's a beautiful thing, man.
Yeah, man. We're
It's-
gonna kick it. We're gonna kick it in the future, man.
yeah,
Well,
we got
now in
to.
Atlanta, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
We got to. We got to get to. I gotta. Where you at right now?
Southern Indiana.
Oh yeah.
There's a
What?
thing on the chat.
Mm-hmm.
I used to do that too. Tony, what up, man? But Christopher,
Yeah,
man,
what's up?
like I said, like any thoughts before we go? Anything y'all want to say? Christopher, great friend of mine as well. I kicked it at his house in Syracuse. He let me crash with him when he invited me to read. So it's I'm on his page. So it's an honor. But Ella left. But yeah, like she family. But before I get out here, and I never done it before. The only thing is, before I was with you, I was listening to some of this, and I
Mm-hmm.
almost had a heart attack. Cause you know, technology, I ain't gonna keep it real. Like I ain't the best at technology, but I put him off and put him in for like 3 seconds. You were saying something, and it was like, and it turns to AirPods. I'm like, what the? And I was like, but they hear, so they shouldn't even be. So I just clicked, and then it came. I'm like it's like I don't know, man. Like technology is
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah. He ain't the only one. Just setting up this Zoom was an experience for me.
Yeah, you both are dope. Yeah, I really enjoyed both of your readings.
You appreciate it.
Thank you, Tony. We
Yeah,
appreciate
I
you,
saw the
brother.
flyer last minute. Chris, he had posted it on Instagram, like maybe like a couple minutes before it started, and I was on my phone at the time, so I was like, oh, let me check this out,
Oh,
because
Oh,
Christopher
that's what's
posted it.
up.
yeah, I
Yeah,
met Chris
it's awesome.
last year. He was my instructor at the Martha's Vineyard Writing Institute.
Oh man, you were there.
Yeah, it was a really
Oh,
good time.
congrats, man. Like we got 4 artists over here.
Oh man, that's what's up, man.
Yeah,
But no,
I
glad
appreciate
you
you.
came, man. Like, you know, Christopher is like I say, he was my first poetry teacher, you know, like we became dear friends. He was just very humble and kind and like very appreciative, like very kind of my work. He was
Mm-hmm.
very supportive of my work and you know, so I was just grateful, man. But that and I'm gonna hit you up because there was the Missouri Review does some type of like audio contest, man. I think that would win. If that don't win, bro, like no,
Yeah,
like I'm gonna write him a letter, bro. Like
yeah. I got
you
so
into,
many of them things.
yeah, I'll hit you up. You don't got to, but
Yeah,
I'll hit you up.
no doubt.
You'll probably win that.
Hey,
But
let me know. Let me know. Help,
yeah,
help me
I'm
out.
gonna hit you.
Help
But
me get. I'm trying to get published like you. I'm trying to get like you.
all right, man. We're gonna kick it in Germany, man.
Yo, you
Christopher,
got it.
appreciate you,
It was
brother.
great reading you guys. It was great to hear you read, Don Carlos.
Thank you.
Beautiful poems. I really loved it. It
I
was really
appreciate it.
beautiful.
Thank
And
you.
great to hear you read again, Steve, man.
Thank you,
Awesome. And
man.
great to see
Had
you,
a good
Tony.
time in Syracuse, man.
great to see you.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Tony.
in the middle of March.
Yeah,
Yeah,
keep up the
I'm
good
gonna
work,
end
both
it,
of
but
you.
yeah, it said as soon as I got on here, it said recording. So I'm assuming as soon as it ends, it's probably just gonna because I recorded before the meeting started. I just kicked it on the so as soon as it ends, I'm sure it's gonna send it to me. But and I'll email it to you
Cool.
right away. All right,
Yo.
y'all.
All right, yo.
All right,
Appreciate it.
Awesome.
peace.
God bless.
All right.